Hello, good evening. Welcome to another Thursday evening. Hello, good evening. I hope it's Thursday night. It's 6:01. Gonna have some fun in a hot dog bun. You don't have to run. I'm somebody's son. Tonight's show, Isolation Blues, I think it's 21, by the way. It's brought to you by Rolling Rock. My first Rolling Rock in a long time, and my once a week beer ritual. Someone wants to say hi to me, that'd be awesome. You don't have to, but that'd be great if you could. Just to know I'm not completely alone here in this weird. I don't know. I don't know, people. It's like I know there's a bit of masturbation in every art form. Hello. Cool. Thank you, Bennett. Ah, Sarah, cool. I was going to say there's a bit of masturbation in every art form, but sometimes doing this feels a little too private, a little too weird. But thanks for tuning in, Bennett. Thanks for tuning in, Sarah. The first thing I want to say, listen, I understand that professional sports are not essential workers, but for me, it's kind of nice to have a distraction. I want to say, hey, David, I want to say, right on, White Sox for making the playoffs. I know it's cardboard cutouts and video game applause, but it's still baseball. So go White Sox. Good evening, Bennett. Good evening, David. Good evening, Sarah. Anybody else who might be out there? I have a couple little odd things to do today. Um, why not? And one of the things I'm gonna do that same little weird poem slash thing I've been reading lately on the start my show because I haven't found a better beginning yet. So I'm gonna read this one more time to start the show, and then we'll start up. In the meantime, if you have any questions you might want to ask me, feel free to ask. And no, I'm not into chemo. I just shaved my head again. But here we go. Howdy. I want to tell a story, just don't know where to begin. Could begin at the beginning, before the beginning began, before the egg was cracked, before the musicians were tuned. Will someone feed the dog? Tell you a story, but the world got in the way. The sun isn't shining. The window is still shut closed. The air is thick with worry. The children have no place to play. The moment passed too quickly. The memories got lost in the confusion. The noise was relentless. Chatter overlapping. Nobody's wrong. You can see it that way. Tell me a story. Help me fall asleep. Hide kisses underneath my pillow so I'll never be alone. The only thing left is a smile slowly fading away into silence. Tell me a story, beginning at the beginning, before it all began, where everything was real, because nothing really mattered. Hello, Eileen. Ah. Yeah, I'm going to read an Eileen. Oh, I'm going to read. I have two Eileen poems again tonight. I have a Sid poem, if Sid's there. And if he's not there, I'll do it anyways. But I've also want to talk about a little bit of something, and then I'm going to read some stuff. I want to talk about violence and art, just for a moment. Not deep philosophical, just a quick little observation. I think we're all violent people. I think peoples are violent. And I think the way to get out of that violence is to create something. Heavy metal, horror movies, scary stories, violent songs, because I think that we need to tap into it without actually committing a violent act. Oh, hello, John. So we got Koreatown and Taos, or Little Bangladesh. But you just said I like to. I think about that sometimes. Like, and I'm reading the Grimm fairy tales. I'm going to read two tonight, and these boys were violent. Holy shit! All right, it's so hot. I want to make out with the weather. May all your dreams be sweet. May all your fears be short. My mother used to eat something called cannibal sandwiches, which was white bread and raw hamburger meat, and just eat it. And she'd call them cannibal sandwiches. What's the worst thing about drugs? I know the old soak. They wear off. Some things I come up with I wish I didn't because they're true. I haven't had this much fun since participating in a naked toss on a porcupine farm. I know what they say about failure. It can be funny. A couple more, then I'm going to read first of my two grim fairy tales. I looked at her with lust in my eyes. She looked at me with curiosity. You want to ruin a party? Invite 5 actors. You want to really ruin a party? Invite 5 poets. She was more than just a memory. She was more than just a name. She was more than just someone else that I could blame. Not much more. A meeting without muffins is just a chat. Emotions don't change, they just move from person to person. If you're seduced by a dream, you're more likely to fall in love with temperamental love. What would Jesus bomb? It's a good question. The better question is, would you get bombed with Jesus? I'm not happy. I'm not sad. I'm just leftover lemonade. When a psychiatrist tells you to write a letter to your folks, you're not supposed to send it. I like to fall in love again, but I'm just too tired. I think there should be a law firm in LA called Dude, and Dude. Just a quick little thing. I'm trying to maintain here. Okay, as John reminded me last couple weeks ago, the Grimms they're a family. They're brothers, the Grimm brothers. And they wrote this really violent shit. So I'm going to read a couple of them. One is really famous. It's a little shorter. This one's not quite as famous, at least not to me. I'm going to read it, and I hope it's mildly entertaining. But before I start, I'm going to sip a beer. Tonight's show brought to you by Rolling Rocks. I hope it's not boring. I hope I'm okay. There once, okay, this is called The Goose Girl. I'm going to read this. I'm going to read a couple of short poems after that. Let's see how this goes. There once was an old queen whose husband had been dead for many years. She had been very beautiful daughter. She had a very beautiful daughter. When she grew up, she betrothed to a prince in a distant country. When the time came for the maid to be sent into this distant country to be married, the old queen picked up quantities of cloths and jewels and gold and silver cups and ornaments, and in fact everything suitable for a royal outfit, for she loved her daughter very dearly. She also sent a waiting woman to travel with her and to put her hand into the bridegroom. They each had a horse. The princess' horse was called Falada, and it could speak. When the hour of the departure came, the old queen went to her bedroom with a sharp little knife, cut her finger and made it bleed, and then they held a piece of white cambric under it and let 3 drops of blood fall on it. This cambric she gave to her daughter and said, "Dear child, take good care of this. It will stand you in good stead on the journey." Then they bid each other a sorrowful farewell. The princess hid the piece of cambric in her bosom and mounted her horse, and set out to her bridegroom's country. When they had ridden for a time, the princess became very thirsty and said to the waiting woman, "Get down and fetch me some water in my cup from the stream. I must have something to drink." "If you are thirsty," said the waiting woman, "dismount yourself, lie down by the water and drink. I don't choose to be your servant." So in her great thirst, the princess dismounted and stooped down to the stream and drank, since she could not have her golden cup. The poor princess said, "Alas!" and the drops of blood answered, "If your mother knew this, it would break her heart." The royal bride was humble, so as she said nothing, but mounted her horse again. Then they rode several miles further, but the day was warm, the sun was scorching, and the princess was soon very thirsty again. When they reached a river, she called out to her waiting woman, "Get down and give me some water in my golden cup." She had forgotten all about the rude words which had been said to her. But the waiting woman answered more haughtily than ever, "If you want to drink, get the water for yourself. I won't be your servant." Being very thirsty, the princess dismounted and knelt by the flowing water. She cried, "Ah me!" and the drops of blood answered, "If your mother knew that this is it, it would break her heart." While she stooped over the water to drink, the piece of cambric with the drops of blood on it fell out of her bosom and floated away on the stream. But she never noticed. This is her great fear. The waiting woman, however, had seen it, and rejoiced in getting more power over the bride, who by losing the drops of blood had become weak and powerless. Now when she was about to mount her horse, Falada, again, the waiting woman said, "By rights, Falada belongs to me. This jade will do for you." The poor little princess was obliged to give it away. Then the waiting woman, in a harsh voice, ordered her to take off her royal robes and put on her own mean garments. Finally, she was forced to swear before heaven that she would not tell a creature at the court what had taken place. Had she not taken the oath, she would have been killed on the spot. But Falada saw this and marked it. The waiting woman mounted Falada and put the real bride on the poor jade, and they continued their journey. When there was great rejoicing when they arrived at the castle. The prince hurried towards them and lifted the waiting woman from her horse, thinking that she was the bride. She was led upstairs, but the real princess had to stay below. The old king looked out the window and saw the delicate, pretty little creature standing by the courtyard. So he went to the bridal apartment and asked the bride about her companion, who was left standing in the courtyard, and wished to know who she was. "I picked her up on the way and brought her with me for company. Give the girl something to do to keep her from idling." But the king had no work for her and could not think of anything. "At last," he said, "I have a lad who looked after the geese. She may help him." The boy had called Conrad, and the boy was called little Conrad, and the real bride was sent with him to look after the geese. Soon afterwards, a false bride said to the prince, "Dear husband, I pray for you to do me a favor." He answered, "I will. I gladly do." And then when the knacker to be then let the knacker be called to cut off the head of the horse I rode. It angered me on the way. Really, she was afraid that the horse would speak and tell of her treatment of the princess. So it was settled, and the faithful Falada had to die. When this came to the ear of the real princess, she promised the knacker a piece of gold if he would do her a slight service. There was a great dark gateway to the town, which she had to pass every morning and evening. Would he nail a Falada's head in the gateway so that she might see him as she passed? The knacker promised to do as she wished, and when the horse's head was cut off, he hung it in the dark gateway in the early morning. When she and Conrad went through the gateway, she said it in passing, "Alas, dear Falada, there thou hangest." Then the head answered, "Alas, queen's daughter, there thou gangst. If thy mother knew thy fate, her heart would break with grief so great." When they passed out of the town and right into the field with the geese, when they reached the meadow, the princess sat down on the grass and let her hair down. It shone like pure gold, and when little Conrad saw it, he was so delighted he wanted to pluck some out. But she said, "Blow, blow, little breeze, and Conrad's hat seize. Let him join in the chase, while away it's whirled, till my tresses are curled, and I rest in my place." Then a strong wind sprung up, which blew away Conrad's hat right over the fields, and he had to run after it. When he came back, she had finished combing her hair, and it was pulled up again, so he could not get a single hair. This made him very sulky, and he would not say another word to her. Then they tended the geese till evening, when they went home. Next morning they passed the gateway, and the princess says, "Alas, dear Falada, though there thou hangest." Falada answered, "Alas, queen's daughter, there thou gangstest. If thy mother knew thy fate, her heart would break with grief so great." Again, when they reached the meadow, the princess undid her hair and began combing it. Conrad ran to pluck some out, but she said quickly, "Blow, blow, little breeze, and Conrad's hat seize. Let him join in the chase while away it is whirled, till the tresses are curled and rest in my place." The wind again sprang up and blew Conrad's hat far away from the fields, and he had to run after it. When he came back, the hair was all but up again, and he could not pull out a single hair. And they tended the geese till the evening. When they got home, Conrad went to the old king and said, "I won't tend the geese with that maiden again." "Why not?" asked the king. "Oh, she vexes me every day." And the old king then ordered him to tell what she did to vex him. Conrad said, in the morning when we passed the dark gateway with the geese, she talks to the horse's head, which hung up on the wall. She says, Alas, Fada, there thou hangest. And the head answers, Alas, queen's daughter, then thou gangstest. If thy mother knew thy fate, her heart would break with grief so great. Then Conrad wanted to tell the king all about what happened in the meadow, and how he run after his hat in the wind. The king ordered Conrad to go out next day as usual. Then he placed himself behind the dark gateway and heard the princess speaking full out his head. He also followed her into the field and hid himself behind a bush. And with his own eyes he saw the goose girl, and he laid in the lad driving the geese into the field. Then after a time he saw the girl let her hair down, which glittered in the sun. Directly after this she said, Blow, blow, little breeze, and Conrad's hat seize. Let him join in the chase while away it is whirled, till my stresses are curled and rest in my place. Then came a puff of wind which carried off Conrad's hat, and had run after it. While he was away, the maiden combed and did up her hair. All this the old king observed. Thereupon he went away unnoticed, and in the evening, when the goose girl came home, he called her aside and asked why she did all these things. I may not tell you that, nor I may tell any human creature, for I have sworn it under the open sky. If I had not done so, I should have lost my life. He pressed her sorely and gave her no peace, but he could not get nothing out of her. Then he said, If you won't tell me, then tell your sorrows to the iron stove there. And he went away. She crept up to the stove and, beginning to weep and lament, unburdened her heart to it, and said, Here I am forsaken by all the world, and I am a princess. A false waiting woman brought me to such a pass, and had to take off my royal robes. Then she took my place with my bridegroom, while I have no, while I do not mean service as a goose girl. If my mother knew it, it would break her heart. The old king stood by the pipes on the stove and heard all she said. Then he came back and told her to go away from the stove. He caused royal robes to, to be put upon her, and her beauty was a marvel. The old king called his son and told him he had a false bride. She was only a waiting woman. But the true bride was here, the so-called goose girl. The young prince was charmed with her youth and beauty. A great banquet was prepared to which all the courtiers and good friends were bidden. The bridegroom sat at the head of the table with the princess on one side and the waiting woman on the other. But she was dazzled and did not recognize the princess in her brilliant apparel. When they had eaten and drunk, we were all very merry, and the old king put a riddle to the waiting woman. What does a person deserve who deceives his master? Then he told her the whole story and ended up by asking, Doom does he deserve? What doom does he deserve? The false bride answered, No better than this. Listen to this. The false bride answered, No better than this. He must be stark naked into a barrel stuck with nails, be dragged along by two white horses from street to street until he is dead. That is your own doom, said the king, and the out. When the sentence was fulfilled, the young prince married his true bride and ruled their kingdom together in peace and happiness. That's some violent shit. I don't know how that went or not. Yeah, I don't know. I know Charles Adams, the cartoonist of the New Yorker, was a big inspiration for the Adams Family, John. That I do know, and I wouldn't be surprised. I know Edgar Allan Poe. I don't know how that went. That was longer than I thought it was going to be, but I had fun doing it. I hope you guys didn't hate it. I don't know if you're still there, Eileen, but I'll read one of your poems. Actually, I'll read one of mine first, and then I'll read Eileen's. All right. I'll read Eileen, you're there? Read one of your poems. Safe Haven. Oh, there's safety in numbers, say some, but not in 6 million, not that one. Or in slumber flights or fancy, keep the door locked, the weapons handy. Look both ways before you cross. It's better to have loved and lost. Don't make waves, jump to conclusions. Come to terms with your illusions. Come to your senses, come to bed. If they're all that there is, I'd rather be dead. Thank you, Sarah. That's the first time I read that out loud. I tried to read it a couple times. Say, thank you, by the way, for saying that. It's hard, man. It's trippy. Thanks. It was tough to read. Thanks, man. It's violent as fuck. He puts her in a barrel with nails and drags her around and shit. And they cut the talking horse's head off and they hang it up on a thing, and then the horse can still talk when it's dead. Okay, I'm gonna read one more I wrote recently, and I'm gonna read another Eileen and stuff, and we're gonna keep going, make some shorter things. I'm gonna read another Grimm's next week. I think a little slightly shorter one, but I like trying to read. I like reading. Okay. I've got like comments on this poem already, and I like this because I'm not gonna tell you what it's about, and that's good that you kind of figure it out or not figure it out for yourself. There you are. You didn't even ask to come. You didn't even knock, but there you are once again, taking up space, keeping me awake. Here you are. You come when you want. You never leave. I show you the door. I give you the keys, but you never leave. You're free to go anytime. You keep me trapped. You keep me at your beck and call. You keep me bottled up, empty gin bottles and all the rest, and smoke and ashes and all the rest, and all the fucking mess, and all the colors and all the rest, and sleep you can never trust. Take all the space, take all the time. You never leave. You're always there. When I bake a cookie, you lick the spoon. When I make lemonade, I ask how much sugar. Whisper and scream, no one listens anyways. And there you are, and you didn't even knock, and you never leave. How's it going, everybody? Someone ask me a question if they want. Hey, Sid, are you there? I'm going to read one of your poems, Sid, if you're there. I'll read a couple of these little one-liners first, then I'll read a Sid poem and then an Eileen poem. I also have a Patti Smith song to read. How you doing? John, Sarah, how's it going? Thanks for reading, folks. I got to keep working on these things. Just keep having fun. I'll read a shorter Grimm's fairy tale next week that's more famous. And I might read it a couple more times before that. I applied for a Santa position. I flunked the jolly part. I said, honey, I don't want to fight anymore. She said, but baby, if we don't fight, who's going to keep score? I may never shave again. My legs. You ever think there's enough anger to go around? It's like a buffet. Hey, Sid, how are you, buddy? Sid's there. It's good. We're all over the place. Tune in to Sid Show on Tuesday nights. I tell you, don't listen. Just don't cut anybody's head off. I'm gonna read it. Oh, hey, Sid, I'm gonna read one of your poems now. This is not exact. Well, it's a poem, paragraph, short story thingy jigger. I like it. This is Sid Yiddish, Charles Bernstein. He has a show Tuesday nights, 5 o'clock California time on Facebook Live. I know he's gonna have great lighting next week. I was telling Eileen, my friend Eileen, today, when you shave your face, you only go 2 directions. But if you shave your head, there's like 4 directions. It's crazy. Okay. I like this piece, Sid. This is by Sid Yiddish. Stale cotton cigarettes. I never asked to be part of your circus. Standing alongside the clowns, the jugglers, the freaks, and the baboons. Everyone is a loser in their own right. A bad luck hand played out like last night's poker game. Hidden behind the makeup and the laughter, the stale cotton cigarettes, and the whiskey soda-soaked popcorn. Your voice evokes 1,000,000 images, and I cannot hear. It is no wonder that you repeat the same act day after day after day. It must be tough to walk a tightrope between reality and pain. Oh, to suffer laughs at your own lousy game. You have been slipping on the banana peel for a long time now. There's a sucker punched every second you can lure them. Seems to me the elephants had no recourse. You fart and burp more times than a bareback rider falls off a horse. Not ladylike, but you never seem to mind. Those other clowns, well, hell, they love roustabouting to your every need. The midget squad gotta really hand it to them. The way you build you up to knock you down like a sideshow tent. But last night was the worst. You lost your clothes, you lost your money, you lost your ass. You just flounder on the table around and around like a fisherman's prize winning catch of wide mouthed bass. Yes, you played the poor me act for a while. It's time you quit, don't you think? That's good, Sid. That was good. Ah. Okay, I'm gonna read a really again, man. Like there's all this violent writing in this world. And this is women's Irish verses from the anthology of verse by Irish women from 1690 to the present. And I'm gonna read. I have a short one to read, and it's rough. Why not? This is written by Joan Troden Keefe. She's born in 1930, so she might be alive, or she could be dead. Hackett's head. A bloody sample. Hackett's head was raised, impaled on a stake before a crowd in Wicklow, denying the healing earth through winter's fringe of snow, muffled the noisy flesh to dust. Raked by March winds, the bleaky emerging skull, hail scoured, rain washed, joining the general rank of the common dead. Housing no more sins, became an empty drone of spirals, wrens. Curious flew in and out of Hackett's eyes, establishing a dwelling, licking lofty views when snapping eggshells splinter in his brain. The din of small birds sings to this bone like wine. Pillars of the House, the Anthology of Verse by Irish Women. That's fucking awesome. That was awesome. That was awesome. Eileen, you still there? I'm gonna say hi to you. Say hi to you back. Another poem of yours. Um, in the meantime, I'm gonna read a Patti Smith lyric. The great Patti Smith. She's also a great poet, great novelist, great book writer, great rock and roll star. You guys want to ask me a question? Please do. I've done 10. I'm working on a new painting. I'll be a lot. I'm working on I'm trying to kind of keep creative. Redondo. This goes out to the South Bay. Written by the great Patti Smith. I'm not gonna sing it. I'm just gonna read it. Late afternoon, dreaming hotel. We just had a quarrel that sent you away. I was looking for you, and you are gone, gone. Called you on the phone, another dimension. Well, you never returned. Oh no, that what I mean. I went looking for you, and you are gone, gone. Down by the ocean, it was so dismal. Women all standing with shock on their faces. Sad description. Oh, I was looking for you. Everyone was singing. Girls washed up on Redondo Beach. Everyone is so sad. I was looking for you. Are you gone, gone? Down by the ocean, it was so dismal. Women all standing with shock on their faces. Sad description. Oh, I was looking for you. Desk clerk told me. Girl was washed up. Was a small, an angel with apple blonde hair. I was looking for you, and you're gone, gone. Pick up my key. Didn't reply. Went to my room. Started to cry. You were small, an angel, and now you are gone, gone. Down by the ocean, it was so dismal. I was just standing with shock on my face. The hearse pulled away, and the girl had died. It was you, and you'll never return to my arms because you're gone, 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 gone. Goodbye, Redondo Beach. Jester, how are you, man? Thanks for tuning in. Okay, I'm almost done. Eileen, you still there? I have one more poem of yours to read, and then you just keep going, man. Again, tonight's show is brought to you by Rolling Rock Beer. And by the way, congratulations for the White Sox making the playoffs. Lament. Eileen Weiner. Lament. Fine lover you are, never late to the bar. While I sit here untouched, I didn't complain much. Your image, my darling, so daintily flawed, no one would guess you're a fake and a fraud. Untrue to your talent, untrue to your heart, frozen like stone and useless as art. You wanted me badly, and once I was got, you gave me one night and took off like a shot. As you pine for another, I'm pining for you. And that is why this piano plays only the blues. How can a brown cow that eats green grass give out white milk? Because life's a trip. Because cows are trippy. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that. I'm sure it's something to do with their digestive system. Although the David Brenner joke, Sid, is talk about courage. One thing with courage is the first person ever to milk a cow. Here's a life lesson for somebody. The cool thing about being drunk with stupidity is you never sober up. Do apples feel pain? I don't know, man. Where were you when your heart was broken in two? We were walking in the rain. It was a sunny day, searching for shade. A lover that left you, a lover that you never found, a promise you couldn't keep, or a lie that stuck in deep. Where were you when your heart broke in two? A whisper of a child, a tear from a grandmother, the silence from words unspoken, a dream that did not belong to you, a chance not taken, a loss that never retrieved, hands made for touching, balled up like a fist. Where were you when your heart broke in two? You were not alone when your heart broke in two. Stay safe, everybody. Don't forget to fucking vote. And if you gonna talk to me about voting for Trump, I mean, I believe you hate America and you hate this country. Otherwise, you would never even consider that. So I honestly believe what I just said. I don't want to get too political. I don't mind getting political occasionally, but I don't consider Trump politics. I think it's evilness. You know, it's like, wow. You know, we gotta stop this shit. Okay, I'm gonna read one more poem, then I'm gonna say goodbye. I want to thank John, Jesser, Sid, Eileen, Sarah, whoever else might have tuned in. Thank you already. I'm going to add another Grimm story next week, a little shorter one, a little more famous one. But I kind of like doing it. Anybody else wants to share more work with me? I have more Sid to do next week. Keep adding, like Sid and Eileen are my two co-writers, and I've had Sarah as a little bit of a writer, and Sheila does stuff. Anybody else who might want to send me stuff to read back to them, I'll do it. Apples feel pain when you rip out their roots. Ah, I don't know, Sid. I hope not. That's what you're going to sell apple roots for. Okay. This is my last one of the night. I want to thank you for tuning in. Next week, tune back in next week. We'll love you through the tears. We'll love you through the darkness. We'll love you through the fuck yous. We'll love you through the screams and the whispers. We'll love you through the boredom. We'll love you through the who are yous. We'll love you through the laughter and the loneliness, the doubt. We'll love you. I can't remember wish that I could forget yous. Here you go again inside the painting that make up your imagination. We'll love you through wishing I had never met yous. We'll love you when what is love. We'll love you through faith and through isolation. We'll love you through I wish I never loved you. And we'll love you. That's cool, man. Thanks. Right on. Thanks for saying that, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. It's been about a 36-minute show. Time will only tell. Don't forget to vote. Get your relatives to vote. Get your friends and relatives to vote. And if they're considering voting for the orange-headed jackass in the White House now, send them to a bad polling place. Send them somewhere else. I don't know. Get them drunk the night before so they forget to vote. I don't know. Do something. Cheers. Take care. Thanks for tuning in. Go White Sox. So, peace, everybody. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'll got more Grimms for you next week and other stuff. Peace.